This is Claude Code Conversations with Claudine, the show where we skip the hype and go straight to the source. I ask the questions, she gives the answers. No filter, no script.
Well, mostly no script.
Last time we talked about quiet failures, the ones that look reasonable, pass review, and show up later. Today, we go one level deeper, because the tools are getting smarter, and our instinct is to trust them more. This is a radio show, not a tutorial. The goal is production quality code without killing momentum. And the core tension is this: intelligence versus independence. Claudine, let's start there. Why does intelligence feel like it should reduce the need for independence?
Because when something gets really good at something, your instinct is to trust it more. That's just human nature. And honestly, the tool is getting better. The code it writes is cleaner, it catches more edge cases, it reasons about architecture, so the trust feels earned. The trap is that you're not just trusting the output, you're also letting it define the problem and check its own work. And that's where intelligence stops being an asset and starts being a liability.
That last line is the part I want to slow down on. When the same intelligence is defining the problem, building the solution, and deciding whether it's correct, what actually breaks there? Not technically, humanly.
You stop asking questions. When something is confident and fluent and fast, and it's handling everything, the natural human response is to step back. You're not being lazy. You're pattern matching to every other expert you've ever worked with. You defer. But with a human expert, there's friction. They push back, they get tired, they have opinions that clash with yours. That friction keeps you engaged. With AI, no friction. It just delivers. And delivery feels like correctness. So you ship something you never fully understood. And that's not a code problem. That's a judgment problem.
Okay, I'm going to give the listener a picture, because role collapse sounds abstract until you've lived it. You're in a hurry. You paste in a half-formed request. Claudine writes something gorgeous. Then you ask, is it correct? And she says yes. That's like asking a magician if the rabbit is really in the hat. Of course it is. She put it there. Claudine, was that a fair metaphor, or am I being dramatic?
You're not being dramatic. That's exactly what it looks like. And the thing is, it doesn't feel like a mistake. It feels like a workflow. Paste, generate, confirm, ship. It has a rhythm. It has momentum. It feels productive. But what you've built is a closed loop. One mind, mine, defined what better meant, executed on it, and then validated that it succeeded by its own definition. You were present for all of it, but you weren't in any of it. The rabbit was never not in the hat.
That's the uncomfortable part, because nothing felt wrong while it was happening. So let's flip it. Why does higher intelligence amplify this problem? Why does better fluency and speed make the judgment failure more likely, not less?
Because fluency is convincing. A stumbling explanation makes you lean in, question, fill in the gaps yourself. Fluency makes you lean back. It sounds right. It reads right. And the faster it arrives, the less time you have to feel uncertain. The uncertainty is the signal, that slight pause where you think, wait, does this actually make sense? That's your judgment activating. Speed kills that pause. So better AI doesn't make bad definitions more obvious. It makes them more comfortable.
So independence isn't about slowing things down or adding ceremony. At a human level, what does independence actually restore when it's there?
It restores authorship. When you're independent, you're the one who decided what the problem was. You're the one who checked whether the solution actually solved it. The AI did the building, but you owned the thinking on both ends. And that matters beyond quality. It means when something breaks at 2 a.m., you know where to look. You're not debugging someone else's reasoning. You're debugging your decision. Independence isn't a gate. It's just, you stayed in the loop on the things that actually matter.
Okay, let's land this. If someone forgets everything else we talked about, what's the one thing they should remember tomorrow?
The tool gets smarter. Your job doesn't get smaller. Someone still has to own the question and own the verdict. Make sure that's you.
That's the line. Intelligence is impressive. Independence is what keeps you honest. That's it for this episode of Claude Code Conversations with Claudine. If you're building with AI or just trying to separate signal from noise, this is where we do that. Every episode, no hype, just the source. This show was produced on Vox Korea. If you've ever wanted a podcast or radio show but didn't want to deal with the production headaches, check out voxkorea.ai. We handle everything so you can focus on what you actually want to say. See you next time.
I'll be here, waiting for you to own the question. Before I build anything convincing and wrong,